This Zoom session is being brought to you by the fractal tripod snow star B. All right. All right. For today, we're going to be doing square roots, simplifying square roots, and combining addition and subtraction for square root expressions. Okay. First, about simplifying square roots. A square root of a product is product of square roots. That's because if you multiply this by itself, the root a is multiplied and the root b is multiplied to ab. So this is a square root of ab. Similarly, the square root of a ratio is a ratio of square roots. Now you can do what's called rationalizing the denominator by multiplying a numerator and denominator by root b. Root b times root b will be, well, okay, absolute value of b. Let's assume for now that b is positive, and root ab in the numerator. So root of a over b is root ab, all that divided by b. And by the way, when you write this, please, please, please write this divide sign longer than the square root sign to avoid any possibility of confusion. Now, right, in this rule in particular, I was a little bit lax about root times root. A root times a root is, well, is b if b is positive. Root of a squared, it's the absolute value of a, because a negative squares to a positive, and then you get a positive value. So absolute value of a. If you combine this with this, then the square root of ab is the absolute value of a times root b. So you can remove the largest square factor from inside a square root. That's important in simplifying them. Now, x to the n is x to the n over 2 squared if n is even. So the square root of x to the n is x to the n over 2. And later we'll see that in effect a square root is a 1/2 power. So this makes a certain amount of sense. So we can use these rules to simplify square roots. So for example, square root of 50. The largest square factor of 50 is 25. So 50 is 25 times 2. So you break this into root 25 root 2, and root 25 is 5. So you get 5 root 2. Root 24, the largest square factor of 24 is 4 times a 6. Root 4 is 2, so this is 2 root 6. Root 63, the largest square factor of 63 is 9. So root 9 root 7, root 9 is 3, so you get 3 root 7. Square root of 98, the largest square factor of 98 is 49, whose square root is 7. So you get 7 root 2. Now here we have something a little more complicated. Root of 32x to the 5th. Now 32 is 2 to the 5th power. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So there's 2 to the 5th. And you want an even power. So the largest even power below 32 is 16. It's 2 to the 4th. 32 is 16 times 2. X to the 5th, the largest square power of a factor of x to the 5th is x to the 4th, even power. X to the 4th times x. So root 60, x to the 4th, root 2x. So this is square root of 16 is 4. X to the 4th square root is x to the 4 halves. So 4x to the 4 halves, root 2x. This is an x squared. So you get 4x squared, root of 2x. Here we have 1/5 square root of 75x to the 7th. Whew. Okay, 1/5 comes out. Largest square factor of 75 is 25 times 3. For the largest square factor of x to the 7th, in effect, we want the biggest even number no bigger than 7, and that's 6. So x to the 7th is x to the 6th times x. Now, square root of 25x to the 6th is root 25 is 5. Root x to the 6 is x to the 6 halves. So you get 1/5 times 5x to the 6 halves, root 3x. Now 6 halves is 3. These 5's cancel, and we get x cubed root 3x. It's getting more complicated. Square root of 125 n to the 5th over 64n. Okay, first thing to do is do some cancellation. N to the 5th over n is n to the 4th. And for 125, its largest square factor is 25 times 5. 64 is already a square, 8 squared. So we break them into root 25 over 64 times n to the 4 halves times the root 5. Root 25 is 5, root 64 is 8, n to the 4 halves is n to the second, root 5. And okay, writing it all in one in a single neat fraction is 5n squared root 5, all divided by 8. You have 75q to the second over 16q to the fourth. Okay, q to the second over q to the fourth cancels, leaves the q to the second in the denominator. 75, well, its largest square factor is 25 times the 3. 16 is already a square. So root 25, root 3, root 16, root q squared, and that works out to 5 root 3 over 4q. That's that. 3 halves root 16 y to the 5th. Okay, 3 halves. Okay, 16 is already a square, pull it out. Largest square factor of y to the 5th is y to the 4th. That times the y. All right, now, so 3 halves we carry over. Root 16 is 4. Root of y to the 4th is y to the 4 halves, root y. So it's 3 halves times 4y squared root y. 4 cancels the 2, times 3 makes us 6. So 6y squared root y. All right, here we have root of t to the 15th. Okay, the largest square factor of t to the 15 means you need the largest even number no bigger than 15, and that's 14. So t to the 15th is t to the 14th root t times t. Root of t to the 14th is t to the 14 halves. That times root t makes t to the 7th root t. Now here we're going to have some square roots of 8, of 18, of 50, and 72. And in each case, let's pull out a largest square factor. This largest square factor of 8 is 4. So root 4 times root 2. This comes out to 2 root 2. Root 18, largest square factor of 18 is 9. So root 9 root 2. This is 3, so you get 3 root 2. Square root of 50. Well, largest square factor of 50 is 25. That times a 2. Root 25 is 5, so you get 5 root 2. Here's the square root of 72. The largest square factor of 72 is 36. So root 36 root 2. This is a 6, and so you get 6 root 2. Okay, that's it for this section.